Alright, welcome back. So today we're gonna just do a property check. I just made a little empty world. I'm gonna right click node, create a dummy, and I'm gonna add two properties into this. One is going to be our script component and the other one's going to be a property component. So what is a property component? Property is basically your XML data sheet which holds parameters and codes so you can use it for other stuff. So if I were to just click in our asset browser, right click, create code, and both C# component and a property. So we'll just do a node base. If we click property, there's two types of property we have. We have a node base, which has all our C# code, or we can use surface base. To be safe, just use node based, and I'm just gonna call it the property property. Actually, just keep it property. All right. I'm just gonna slap that in here, and then I'm gonna create one more, right click and a C#, and it's the checker. So once that's done, I'm just gonna link the checker right there, and then we can start coding this stuff. So what's a property? Now let's go back to our property. You'll notice that there's no really easy way to open a property except right clicking it, show in Explorer, and then you'll have it right here. You have 3 or 4 programs that can open it. You got Notepad, Notepad++, Visual Studio. I'm just gonna open it with Visual Studio. So here is our property panel. What we're gonna do, first things first, is we're gonna remove that slash, and we're gonna add a slash property. So now we have things inside here. Now if we go into the documentations, there's actually a few formats that we can use inside our property, which gives us a whole list of structurization. Now if you go up a little bit more, you have the ability to use arrays and structs, and you have the ability to use parameters. So how are we to do this? Normally it's just a simple parameter, and then we can call it name with a small letter, equals to with double quotation marks. I cannot zoom in for some reason, but there's that. And then inside the quotation mark, we can call it the name of the thing. Let's just choose ID the same way I did my C++, and then the type we choose int. Okay, and then we just add / so it closes it on itself. Then we do the same thing here. Name equals to name, and then type equals to string, just / this, and just save it. And we go back here. We have our thing in the property check. So I'm just gonna click on the checker property, which we have our code, and then if we go back here, give it a second, you'll see that the property actually changed and has a specific ID. Now if you want something to change it inside the property and then add it to the other objects, it's gonna keep that thing. So let's say if I said 53 and high, right? If I add it, it changes all of them. But if I were to make the main one a 0 and empty, and then go here and change this to something, if we go back here, it doesn't change. That's the basic one, and this is the one that has the specific property. So here we can say, hi, this is Sparta. Okay, and for the number we'll just choose 300 because why not? Alright, so now we have this. Now let's keep this like that. We'll close it, and when you change stuff, so let's close this. When you change stuff and you go inside the Explorer, or when you go and actually open it up, we will have it in the property file, those changes. So right now I don't really need this guy. Let's actually code this before I start mumbling around. And what I need is I need to somehow access these properties without screwing up the system. There are ways to save it, edit it, and all that, but for now we'll just access it. So we have two classes for this. We have one, the property class, and the other one's the property parameter class. So first let's just use the property class. So property, and then we name it as prop, and then property parameter, prop param. Just a little bit easier to look at. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna now connect both of these and then use the stuff from inside. So if we go back inside here, you'll notice that the object over here actually has two properties. We have property number 0, which is our file that we edited, and the number 1, which is the class that we're using. So we actually have a little bit of a easy function here. So we can literally do a node get property, and then you'll notice that it asks for what number property. So since ours is first one, we can easily just say there, the arrows for C++. So now our property variable is now connected to our get property variable. Okay, and to check it out, we can just do a simple log message, and we could do prop.name, and it's going to show us the name. And if I were to check it out, we have the name as property, which is perfect. That's the name of the file, and we have it right here. So now it's actually connected. Perfect. Now let's connect the data thing. So we're going to use prop parameter, and it's literally just a simple prop dot get prop parameter pointer, and then over here we actually have two overloads. One is the name of the thing, and the other one's the ID. ID would be the order of the parameter. So this is order 0, this is order 1, right? Because now it's on a list. So we can do that, or we could do by strings. I'll save myself some time and actually do it by name. So let's just say over here we do this, then we do log.message, we do n, and then we do name is, and then this guy, and then ID number is this guy, or, and then number, we'll just do like that. And then over here we just add the two commas because it's 0 and 1. So the name would be prop parameter dot name, and then to access the thing, it's actually the value, get value. All right. Now here's the problem with the get value. If we actually look into it, it's just a variable. Now we know that this is an int, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna typecast it to an int. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do this, write int, and it's supposed to work, but it didn't. So let's check. There we go. They made it even easier. So it's a .int, and now we can actually try and check if this works. So alright, now that we have our ID, it says name, the property, which is the property name, then it says name is ID, which is the name of the first parameter, and the number is the 300 that we got. Now what about for the other one? So we can actually reuse it. So we can do a prop underscore parameter, and then we can just copy paste this again, honestly speaking, and then we could change this to 1, and then from here instead it's going to be a string. So that is the way to access our properties. Alright, so we can see that everything's working perfectly fine. We have no problems here, and everything is accessing properly. So what's the use of this? There's a lot of uses, especially for the next few episodes where we're gonna use a gun. We can actually write a lot of other stuff. So like recoil, reload, speed, rate of fire, max chamber, or max bullets, and all that stuff. So you have the ability to use this in a very versatile fashion. And yeah, that's the beginning of our property. Now you can go through the whole file format. You can add structs, you can add arrays, you can add arrays of structs, and you can do a lot of databasing through this. So yeah, there's a lot of versatility, and I hope you guys enjoyed the simple introduction towards properties. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.